Hello YouTube, my name's Nero and today we some Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. What we're going to be doing in this video is actually going over the M1 Irons, a brand new DLC weapon that's actually come to Advanced Warfare, and it has been a whole lot of fun. I spent all morning actually playing Advanced Warfare and playing with this gun, and I definitely enjoyed my time with it. What is the M1 Irons? As you guys can see from the gameplay, it is a pistol. It's actually categorized as a special weapon, and it's going to be a very, very powerful 6-shooter revolver, which of course is going to come with a list of its own variants and things of that nature. I have no variants, personally. I have no variants. But I always still enjoyed my time while running around with the stock version, so it's definitely a pretty good gun overall, and it's kind of designed in some ways to be a primary weapon. From what I could tell, it's basically a 2-shot kill for the most part. I wouldn't be surprised because I didn't do any testing on this. I didn't like invite somebody into a private match and like tested the damage or tested the range or anything like that, but I wouldn't be surprised to find out if it's like a one-hit kill to the head at close ranges. But for the most part, even up to like medium ranges, I was noticing it's about a 2-hit kill, and yeah, it's just a very fun overall high damage, high risk, high reward style pistol. Overall though, I still think it's kind of a gimmick weapon because it's a 6-shooter revolver. You know, you're not going to be competing at those medium ranges, no matter how powerful the pistol is, with things like the AK-12, with things like the HRA-3, any rifle in general. You're not going to compete with submachine guns even. It's just a very fun, very powerful close quarters weapon that you can in fact actually use as a secondary depending on how you want to set up your creative class. So before we get too far into this, I actually want to show you guys my stats for this gun, just to show you that I'm actually somebody that knows what they're talking about with the weapon. I didn't hop on, play 2 games with it, and say, okay, I think I've developed my full opinion on this. No, I definitely use this gun a ton here. Let's actually go in here to my create class. Let's go over here to my specials, and, oh, there she is, and M1 Irons. You guys can see I've unlocked every single attachment there is for the gun, and I've used most of them. I haven't used every single one. Like, I didn't use, like, a target enhancer, for example. I didn't use a parabolic microphone, for example, but I did try out most of the attachments. And if we actually go down here to my operator, go down here to my combat record, go down here to the weapons, and scroll all the way down here, you will see that I've actually gotten nearly 250 kills with the M1 Irons so far, and that's just from playing with it this morning, the day it's actually come out. So I'm definitely enjoying my time with the weapon so far. I'm definitely having a whole lot of fun with it. Here is my opinions on it. Here I've actually wrote down some notes, and these are the things I've thought, things that I've experienced with the gun throughout the majority of this morning. So first and foremost, it's a very powerful pistol, right? It's the most powerful revolver possibly in Call of Duty history ever, because I imagine it actually has better range than most of them, right? I don't have, once again, don't have any variants or anything special, anything fancy going on with it. I'm just using the stock version of this. I'm assuming the variants are going to make the course of gun a bit better, like they always do in Advanced Warfare, but just the stock version is very powerful. Like I said, maybe a 2-hit kill at just about all ranges that I was noticing anyway. I wasn't exactly sniping people across the map with it, so I couldn't tell you how powerful it is at those ranges, but at very close quarters to almost like a medium range, I was having a lot of success with the gun itself when I could actually hit them, because of course you have to be very accurate with this gun as compared to other guns in the game. I noticed that hip firing with this gun, because I tend to hip fire revolver style pistols. You think back to the 357 Magnums, like the Desert Eagles of Call of Duty years past, I would usually hip fire those things like as a secondary, very close quarters. Like I'd pull out my secondary real quick, just hip fire with my pistol, kill the guy, put my pistol away, then keep on about my day. I had trouble hip firing with this gun for the most part. It seemed unusually inaccurate while I was hip firing until I actually unlocked the laser sight, which unlocked at 10 hip fire kills. So it didn't take very long to actually get it, but up until that point, I was having a lot of trouble, even close quarters. I was just shooting at people, but I guess at the end of the day, random is random. Your hip fire will sometimes just miss with this gun, I was noticing. But then again, other people are having no trouble with it whatsoever, so I guess that might have just been something that was bothering me or something that wasn't working right with me. But regardless, it is still, I feel as though, a pretty inaccurate pistol if you're trying to hip fire it, but once you unlock the laser sight, that basically makes it so it's all good, man. It's all good once you get the laser sight on there. You can hip fire pretty well, but once again, you still only have 6 shots. Regardless of what attachments you put on there, you only have 6 shots. That makes it very difficult to try and get double kills or triple kills, or if you get kind of overwhelmed by a couple people, you can't really just kind of spray and pray your way out. That's definitely one of the things that I saw. I would say that using akimbo is probably the best way to use this weapon. As you guys can see from here, it is so ridiculously powerful sometimes. You'll just go into a room and just start massacring people, and it's a whole lot of fun. I definitely enjoy using it akimbo. In this, I'm actually using akimbo as well as I'm using advanced rifling on here just to increase the range a little bit. Once again, I don't know exactly how much it's actually going to benefit the gun or how much range a gun actually has by default. I don't know. I just put advanced rifling on there because it's usually a good bet on just about about every single weapon in the game, and I noticed that it seemed to be pretty powerful. I was able to take these people out at ranges where I'm like, wow, I didn't even think I would hit them, let alone kill them right there. So running around with this thing hip firing, it is definitely a whole lot of fun when you're using it akimbo, but keep in mind, ammo is definitely a concern. That's one thing I definitely noticed while running around with this as an akimbo weapon, is that you spray a lot when it's akimbo, right? Because of course you're hip firing all the time, so you're basically left trigger, right trigger, you're just going back and forth, right, and just basically emptying out your clips on both pistols every time you see somebody. And because of that, you're wasting a lot of ammo, and because of that, you're going to run out of ammo pretty quickly. So I definitely recommend you guys running scavenger on this once you get up to akimbo. I recommend using the pistol first and foremost because it's a whole lot of fun, and trying to get as many hip fire kills as possible once you get up to 40, and once again that becomes a lot easier once you unlock the laser sight at 10 hip fire kills. Once you get up to 40 hip fire kills, you actually unlock the akimbo, and then you just start going ham, man. Just run around. You can have a whole lot of fun with this pistol. It's definitely a blast, but keep in mind, it's just that. It is a pistol. There's nothing more, nothing less. It is a very powerful pistol that's usually going to get you out of some sticky situations, but you shouldn't look at it as if it's some godsend of a primary weapon. I heard some people raging in game chat today saying, oh, that gun's overpowered. Oh, it's so ridiculous, but it really isn't. You guys saw the stats. I have like a 122 KD with the gun. It's just a very powerful pistol. You know, you're not going to be competing with ASM1s. You're not going to be competing with the, I don't know, like the HPR-A3, the AK-12, things like that downrange. You're just not going to. And I was actually kind of misled a little bit into thinking that this gun was ridiculously powerful because, of course, I got on today right when the update happened, and I started playing with the gun itself. But the problem with it is when everyone initially got on today, everybody, like I'm going to estimate, 75% of the lobby or so was running around with this pistol. So it's basically me using my new pistol versus them using their new pistol. And I was like, this is a whole lot of fun. This pistol's great. But as the day kind of progressed a bit and people started kind of the novelty of a brand new weapon started to wear off on people a bit, they started pulling out their normal guns. They started pulling out their assault rifles, their snipers, their LMGs, their whatevers, right? They started using that stuff. And at that point, I actually got a bit more clear of a representation of what the weapon itself is actually like, because I was actually going up against melees, right? I was going up against ASM1s. I was going up against KF5s and SAC3s and whatever guns that people wanted to use, right? I was actually going against other guns that weren't just the M1 irons. And when that started happening, I realized, wow, okay, you need to play with this thing really defensively, especially if you're using it akimbo, because you can take those people out at those ranges very consistently. You need to kind of use the weapon as if it were a shotgun. And that's the big tip I give you guys. Try to use this thing as if it were a shotgun. You know, you do have some range if you're not using it akimbo. Even when you are using it akimbo, you do have some range to work with. But for the most part, try to use this thing like it's a shotgun and try to stay as close to them as humanly possible. You're definitely going to have a lot more success that way. So here at the end of the video, I'd like to actually give you guys a recommendation as to how I feel as though you should run your class. Now, this is not the same formula as a lot of my other weapon guides here on my channel, but it's still the same idea. I showed you a bunch of gameplay, I talked a lot about the gun, and now I'm going to actually show you the class that I was using today, and a class I was having a whole lot of success with. Once again, I was leading most of the lobbies. You guys were seeing the gameplay. The class itself is pretty solid. So we get on here, it's actually my 10th class. I call it my M1 Irons class. That's just really what I call it. This is what I run, man. This right here. Pretty basic perks aside from Scavenger. I never use Scavenger on anything. It's always kind of blown my mind that people do use Scavenger, but like I said, if you're going to be using akimbo, which we are using akimbo as well as advanced rifling here, you are going to go through a lot of bullets. It's just the nature of the gun. It's the nature of the fact that you're hip firing. You're going to go through a lot of bullets. You definitely, ladies and gentlemen, definitely need to have Scavenger on there. You're definitely going to want that. Blast Suppressor, because I feel it's the best perk in the game. I feel it's a mandatory perk. You should definitely have Blast Suppressor on all the time. Low Profile and Blind Eye. Between these three perks, is going to make it so you can get as close to them as humanly possible without being detected, right? You're not going to be showing up on the map every time you dash or jump or do whatever. You're not going to be showing up on the map or even on the radar of the kill streaks anytime they call the kill streaks in on you. They're not going to be showing up on the UAV because of low profile, and you're going to be picking up ammo off of every single person you sneak up on and kill with Scavengers. So it's definitely a whole lot of fun. Now, I noticed that why would I want a secondary if I'm already basically using a secondary as my primary? So I didn't use that. I don't really feel as though X abilities in this game are really that worth it, nor are grenades that great. So I'm like, okay, well, these are what I consider to be the mandatory perks, right? And so instead of using something like an extra perk 1 where I would use something like lightweight, instead I decided to go for 4 kill streaks, and I was having a lot of success with these kill streaks. It was definitely a whole lot of fun because I'm calling in UAVs and system hacks and bombing runs and aerial assault drones with AI and rockets, which, as you guys know, can definitely be it's a go big or go home kind of kill streak. It's either going to do ridiculously good for you, or if the opposing team's all using blind eye, it's not going to do anything for you. So it really kind of depends on what's going on with that. But yeah, I definitely recommend trying to run 4 kill streaks with this and just run around with the pistol and have fun with it, because that's what Call of Duty is about at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen. It's about just having fun and trying out some new stuff. Keep in mind, this is not going to be the best gun you've ever tried. This is not going to be the most powerful pistol in the world. It's not that overpowered in my own opinion. I don't feel as though it's really overpowered at all. I feel as though it's a fun gimmick weapon that could potentially make for a ridiculously powerful secondary weapon in the right circumstances. Now, just for the sake of the video, I actually put together this create class here, just to show you guys that the M1 Irons itself could actually be used as a secondary. As we see down all the way here, you actually see that we have overkill on. That's making it so we can actually have the M1 Irons, because keep in mind, it is a primary weapon as a secondary. And of course, we also have akimbo on here, and while at the same time still having all the power and fun of an AK-12 up here, and we still have our low profile, our blind eye, our toughness, our blast suppressor, and 2 kill streaks. It can definitely be pretty powerful. I feel as though Sledgehammer actually was smart about this, and they actually thought a little bit about how this is going to be balanced if people were actually going to use this as a secondary, especially akimbo. So what they did to balance it was they made it so it has this animation every time you want to actually pull them out. So in a close quarter situation where somebody kind of gets a jump on you, you're not going to be able to quickly pull out your pistols and start killing. You're going to have a little bit of a delay there. You have a little bit of a delay before you can actually just start spamming and start shooting and start killing stuff, right? Which is understandable. And I feel so that's going to be what's kind of balancing these as a secondary. But yes, it is entirely possible, ladies and gentlemen, for you to actually use these just as secondaries, or you can do what I do and just run around with them as a gimmick weapon, as a fun weapon, and just use them to try and have some fun running around with your 6-shooter and just have a blast. Well, that is today's video. I hope you guys all enjoyed it, and if you did, please be sure to leave a rating where you guys feel it deserves, and of course, let me know in the comment section below what are your feelings so far on the M1 Irons. How are you digging it? You guys digging it? You tried so far? It's free DLC, guys. It's free DLC. Anyone can play with it. Go ahead and try it out if you guys haven't already. It's a blast, in my own opinion, and chances are you guys will agree. Chances are if you try it out, you're going to have a lot of fun with it as well. So hope you guys all enjoyed this video, and if you did, please be sure to leave a rating where you guys feel it deserves. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day.